Kia ora, welcome to our session today for Business Searching Interface and Business Source Databases for Pūkenga Libraries. These are the objectives from today's session. It's my hope that by the end of the session, you'll be able to describe the business source range of databases. Of course, we're going to focus on the Business Source Complete database today. You'll be able to access the new Business Searching Interface, navigate the landing page for the Business Searching Interface, browse for business content, and locate help materials. Now, I just wanted to take a quick overview of the database that we're going to be reviewing today, which is Business Source Complete. The best place to go for any database information is the product website, which I have linked into this slide deck. This page is always updated. It's always going to give you the most current information. And what you'll also find in here is not only the content here that's indexed, such as your full text journals and magazines, you also have access to download your title list. And as you're going to see in today's session, the Business Source database includes not just journals, not just magazines, it also includes other content like company profile reports, industry profile reports, and more. So again, best place to go to view any information about the databases is the product website. Okay, so today's session, we are focusing on Business Source Complete, but we are going to be reviewing this on our new business searching interface. Now, you might have been using the classic business searching interface previously. Please note we are migrating the classic business searching interface to this new version around the 15th of July. So in a couple of weeks, that change will take effect. Now, the new business searching interface at a glance is a dedicated, specialized interface for business research. It is designed to offer a clean, modern look. It helps to make your business research more intuitive and efficient. As you'll see in our session today, it has a lot of improved navigation and it's more visually appealing. It also offers quick access to certain journals and magazines that are popular within the database, the Business Source database. You can also search by specific topic, and it also allows the option to locate specific country economic data, company profiles, and industry information. Now, for those that might not be aware of this, this is how you can access the business searching interface. Most people will have access to Complete, which means you are eligible to have this interface free of charge, and you can search Business Source on both EBSCOhost and the business searching interface. This interface is complementary, and it is really designed to work with Business Source, plus some additional non-business source databases, including these ones here. So if you also subscribe to Bloomberg Business Archive, EconLit, the hospitality and tourism databases, or regional business news, these can be searched simultaneously alongside Business Source on the business searching interface. And again, this is a complimentary interface. You don't pay any extra for it. It is part of your subscription. All right, so I've got a couple of slides that will talk a little bit about this new interface and what it looks like. And then we're going to take a bit of an overview on the live platform, a little bit of navigation, showing you how to locate items, and then we are going to do some specific searching. So the interface itself maps out browsable choices for topic exploration. So it's more of a visual search. It's more visually appealing rather than a standard database where you've got to think about your keywords and type things in and know how to find things. It's just laid out in a nice way so that users can find things quickly and easily. We also allow the user to drill down into certain topics. So you can expand things like your company profile reports, your country reports, industry reports, and even SWOT analyses. In addition to those topics, we also provide featured collections, which will include things like interviews, ahead of print articles, and other items. We also have a little carousel for featured business magazines that are indexed in the Business Source database. So that will include publications like Forbes, Harvard Business Review, Fortune, and so on. And we also have a spotlight that will change from time to time that will view a highlighted article chosen on a trending topic. Now, in today's session, I will encourage you all to follow along. So if you have your mobile device with you, feel free to scan the QR code. Otherwise, give me one moment and I'll put the link in the chat window. When you get that link, the username will be live train, and I'll also provide the password in the chat. So just bear with me for one moment whilst I grab that link. This is the new business searching interface you're seeing on the screen there. This is the URL and the username I'm just entering now, and the password. Completely optional, but do feel free to follow along. Have a bit of a navigation around the interface as well if you haven't seen it before. Okay, so this is the new interface. Hopefully you have access to that link. When you first click on it, it will land you on this topic page. Now, one thing with the new business searching interface is you've got this wonderful topic page. If I was to run a search and click on New Search under Research Tools, it will default you back into a standard sort of database looking screen. So if you're wanting to go back to that topic overview page, make sure you click this EBSCO host logo in the top left. That will just sort of take you back to this landing page here. So let's have a bit of a navigation through this page to show you what's there. So as I mentioned in the slides, there is the sort of segments on the interface. So we have our leading publications. This is a great place to come to locate leading journals within a particular discipline. So if I was studying management, or if I wanted to just review some management journal, for example, I can click onto this little link here into the management journals, and now these are selected leading management journals indexed in Business Source. And here we can see we've got the Academy of Management publications, we've got Harvard Business Review, Organization Science, and so on. So I might be interested in the Academy of Management journal. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this tile. And what this will do is actually just run what we call a qualified search for journal name for the Academy of Management journal. So what I'm viewing now is all of the articles indexed in this particular journal. Now, what I could also do if I wanted something specific from there, maybe a particular keyword, I could use my search box either in the top level here. I could go into advanced search and I could add a keyword in. So I might be interested in strategy. Is there any articles on strategy from this particular journal? And so now I've got my results, and you can see I've got strategy appearing for the Academy of Management journal. So that is just a quick way of navigating into those different journals from that page. So just from this landing page here. We also have the same thing for business publications. We also have a similar thing for our accounting and finance journals. So again, clicking on these will just run that CAN search, that journal name search. Marketing and sales. So again, these are selected titles that are leading titles in those particular areas. And we've got MIS and POM here as well. Okay, so that is our first little carousel. That's our leading publications in the database. The next part down from here is our featured content. Now, I mentioned that on the product website. So I'm just going to take a quick segue out here. And for those that might not be familiar with these, I'll just pop this in the chat window for you as well. This will give you a nice overview of the Business Source Complete database. If you scroll down a little bit here, it will talk about what is indexed. It'll talk about international content as well. And it will show you some of this non-business content. So this information here is really where the business searching interface is beneficial. So it's going to show you and highlight that sort of non-journal content that's indexed in Business Source. And if you're interested to find out what information that is considered sort of other, so not just your standard journals, there is the title list here. So you can view all titles indexed in Business Source. You can view this by subject, or you can view those other items as well. So this is really a really nice place to go to find that information. We've got some examples I'm going to show you shortly. But let's say I was interested in finding case studies. As a user, I can just come in, click onto case studies. It's going to construct a search string here. It's going to find me the publication type of case study in the title of my records, and it's going to make sure that they are full text. You've got your full text Y there. So there's around 63,000 for this search, and I can see case study here in the title. And if I do click into the record, we'll probably see the subject areas or the document type here, perhaps, of case study as well. Again, these are ORs, so it'll be either the publication type or in the title that you'll find those terms. Okay, and again, if you're wanting to add a keyword in here, if you want a specific case study on something, advanced search, add a keyword. So maybe I'm after, and I might just use my truncation here, so strategic plan or strategic planning, strategic plans. And so now I'm looking at case studies on this particular topic. So just quick ways of finding information, but again, it's looking at things that are case studies outside of your standard journal content. Coming back to our landing page, just remember EBSCO host will take you back to your topics. You've got executive interview transcripts as well. So these are coming from the Wall Street transcript. So executive interviews. We also include the pathways to research for business and economics. These titles are quite unique to Business Source, and they provide really nice overviews of different topics, and they are created by professionals in the industry. So you'll notice here, this one is about hybrid working. We've got the use of a balanced scorecard, stock-based compensation, and so on. You can also browse these by clicking on your filters and going into either your subject filter here or into your thesaurus terms. Or again, you could pop a keyword in and navigate down that way as well. So these are quite comprehensive. If we do click into the title link and have a look at the abstract record, we can view more information. We have the author details, the source, the subject terms related to this particular pathway to research, the author's applied keywords, and our abstract here as well. So in this case, I am just going to go into the PDF online full text version. And these will all be formatted quite similarly. They do come from EBSCO, and here we've got the details of this particular pathway to research on this hybrid and remote work. They're quite comprehensive. You've got your publication contents over here. This will take you into other pathways on those different topics. So coming from that same publication, which in this case is our pathways to research. Here's the strategic use of a balanced scorecard. So if I click on that, it just takes me straight into this pathway as well. Okay, so again, if you're in our PDF online full text reader, you can save that record to your dashboard. You can generate the end text citation. We cover 9 styles in here. You can export your citation to EndNote using RIS. You can also, if you've got a My EBSCO account, you can save this to a project. If you click the share button, you can save this to Google Drive or OneDrive or create a shareable link. And you can also email it to yourself and you'll receive that PDF and HTML file as an attachment. So these are singular export options for this particular record. The download will allow you to download the PDF outside of EBSCO or the online full text outside of EBSCO, and you can also download just the metadata for this record as well. Our publication contents is just in this little book icon. That's again other pathways from that same publication. We can print these out and we can also have them read out to us using text to speech. And we now also include additional accessibility support. So that is our online PDF viewer. And you can view them in either PDF or online full text. They're quite similar in the display for the viewer. The only difference with your online full text is you don't get your page numbers however, get pretty much exactly the same options, and you've also got your text to speech here as well. So that is the pathways to research. They're quite unique to the business source database. And again, we provide that link to take users directly in there. So down here, ahead of print articles is another little canned search that they've created here. So what it's looking at here is publication model. AOP stands for ahead of print, and full text yes. So these are very current articles on a variety of different topics in the business discipline, and they're ahead of print. So they're not quite out in the print journal just yet. So if you're wanting that really recent research, this is a great little tool to run. If you're monitoring a topic, again, you could go to advanced search, add that keyword in as well. Okay, another little tip too, if you're using the business searching interface, is you might notice I'm viewing all results at the moment, but based on my search, I could use these little tabs to review just articles from this search, any news items from this search, any reports, and if there were any videos related to this as well. So this, it just allows you to view source types at a glance. Okay, so coming back to my page, so that was our explore featured content. We've looked at case studies, the executive interviews, our pathways to research, and our head of print. If we're looking very quickly for news items, we can click into here and we land on our exploring option for new. So just papers here, related videos are also appearing, and we can view all results. And just note my canned search at the top here. So I've kind of left the top layer a little bit bare at the moment. We're going to actually go into some of these specifically, but I will just show you really great ways of finding information. So company profiles by industry. This is where we have that secondary breakdown. So maybe I'm doing some research into healthcare or maybe IT or industrials. This is where I can navigate in. So I might go into the communication services. So these are company profiles now. So companies under that communication services umbrella, and I can then browse through the list of companies here. If I know what I'm looking for, I can also search within here too. These will also have a sorting option, either A to Z or Z to A. And again, you can navigate into the letters to review the information here too. So just nice quick ways of, again, finding that non-journal content just laid out nicely within this screen. Country reports are another really great one. So we can go directly into countries. I'm going to go into Oceania from here. We can then navigate into a specific country. So if we're wanting to view country reports for New Zealand, this is where we can view at a glance those report types indexed in Business Source. So we've got S&P Global Territory Reports, we've got country territory reports and more. And we've also got some related videos there too. Again, if we go to view all results, we'll now be reviewing all of those country reports for New Zealand. So different providers here. And they will be either in PDF. Sometimes you'll get online full text and PDF, just depending on the publisher. You can also sort here by date newest. If you're wanting to view the most recent country reports, you might find it changes slightly. So you can see we've got a country territory report here for June 2025, so very recent. So let's have a quick look at this. So here's our country report. It's an S&P Global report. Gives us a nice executive summary here and our country risk scores. It looks at the PESEL analysis and so on. So these are quite comprehensive as well. You'll see this one's 41 pages, so it's quite long, but it does give you that nice overview of a particular country. So coming back to EBSCO host again, just going back to our topics page, country reports, we've also got industry reports. You can look at this by country, by provider, by sector, and even regional industry reports as well. For Asia Pacific, for example, quite high level. And so we're looking at residential construction in Asia Pacific now, rather than a specific country or territory. Government spending in Asia Pacific. So New Zealand, Australia will be listed in here among other Asia Pacific countries. Anyway, so that is some ways of locating information. I really love the featured content and the fact that you can navigate in there quite quickly. We are going to focus a little bit more on these shortly. Another option for company research or business research is SWOT analyses. So you can just go very quickly into all, or if again you're looking for a particular industry, so communication services or healthcare, you can navigate directly into these and then browse. So if we go into all SWOTs, quite a long list you'll see in a moment. There's 2,500, so it's quite a lot. Again, you can navigate into a particular letter and browse, or you can search for a company here as well. See, there's quite a lot in this list. So here's a Fonterra SWOT for those that might be interested. This is what they look like. So open them up. Just going to run that name here and we'll get all the SWOTs for this particular company. And again, if it's not showing you the most recent, you can sort by date newest. These will usually be in PDF as well. So just a nice SWOT analysis, looking at those internal and external factors for company research. So here's the SWOT here for Fonterra, and then it fleshes those out into each of those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So again, just really nice ways of finding information quickly. So I'm going to come back to my platform now. I've done a bit of navigation. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Scrolling underneath that, we also have our popular topics. So these will change from time to time. If I'm interested in leadership, I can just very quickly click into the leadership tab and view this search for transformational leadership or leaders. So these are all the records here on that topic. So these are managed by EBSCO. You'll see that they do change from time to time, and it's just going to run that can search on that topic. Under that, we've got our featured business magazine. So just a quick way of navigating into those top publications. For example, I might be interested in Fortune. So I'll click on Fortune. It's going to take me into the Publications Authority for this index journal, and I can navigate the table of contents to view those articles. I can view the full text coverage, the frequency of publication, and so on. And if you also are after the option for setting up your journal alerts, this is where you can do that as well. So nice quick ways of getting into that information too. Okay, coming back to our topic page. So that is our featured business magazines. And our last little segment is our spotlight on. So this is Forbes FinTech 50. This again will change from time to time. This is going to provide us the annual list published by Forbes that features the most innovative and influential private fintech companies in the US. So if we click on Learn More, it's actually going to run a can search again for the journal name of Forbes and the keyword here of FinTech 50. So we can view the FinTech 50 here over time. Okay, so that is the landing page for the business searching interface. Now, on that note, hopefully you have all logged into my site there. I'm now going to show you how we can use Business Source and the business searching interface to locate very specific information. So we do have a scenario here, which is on the construction industry. So our person is called Jim, and Jim is interested in the construction industry in New Zealand, and he wants to understand the environment better. So he needs to know, how popular is development in New Zealand? What is the construction industry like in New Zealand? And what are the main construction companies operating in the country? So, three questions we're going to answer using the business searching interface. Let's just jump back here. So, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to just find some information on this topic. So, we're going to use a new feature that EBSCO has released recently called the natural language search. Now, if this is not available for your interfaces yet, please let me know. I'm happy to set this up for you. It is simply a search mode. But natural language search uses artificial intelligence to take a statement or a question and construct a search strategy using that. So you can see I've typed in here, how popular is development in New Zealand? And the system, this natural language search AI tool, has converted that into a search strategy. So let's have a look at this on the platform. How popular is development in New Zealand? Now, if you're following along, please do. What I find the easiest thing to do with the business searching interface is go to advanced search, go to your search options, and you'll see natural language here as a search mode. It is actually a search mode. So click on this, and we're going to just type in how popular is development in New Zealand. And you can put a question mark in if you like, if it's a question, or you can just keep it as a statement format. So the natural language search will go through and find articles on this topic. So you'll see here I've got things like 3D printing. I've said development. So I could go and change that and put maybe real estate development, construction, for example. But what I wanted to show you here was that refined search. Now you'll notice that my search term here is actually a little bit different to the search term I had on my screenshot. So just bear in mind if you're using the natural language search, it is an artificial technology tool. I think it's a great starting point if you're wanting just some information on a topic like this. But if you are relying on that to not change, it may change. It is going to continuously learn, obviously, because it is an AI tool. Now, how popular is development in New Zealand? I actually don't particularly like those results that I was getting there. So I'm going to remove the question mark. And you'll notice I have a few different results now. And just have a look. This is a little bit different now. So it does depend if you put your question mark in or not. So now I'm looking at development or construction and New Zealand. This is what I'm after. This is the items that I need to know. So this one here is driving forces influencing the uptake of sustainable housing. So I'm starting to see some information on my topic. And of course, I could apply some filters here. So I could have a look at different subject areas. I could view different publications as well that mention this. I could also view some related companies around this topic as well. So filter options are also there. And because I've run that search, if I wanted to, I could copy the search strategy, put that in and work with that, add some different synonyms, add some different terms to search on. So again, it's a really good starting point for your research. I'm just going to go back to EBSCO host. So that was our first little question. How popular is development in New Zealand? I've got quite a few results appearing there. And again, question mark or no question mark may influence your search results. So for those that might not be familiar with the natural language search, it is something that is available now. It's completely free, part of your subscription. It is simply a search mode. And the way that it works is it utilizes the ability for a researcher to input their spoken language to do a search. So thinking about people now that, are used to using Siri or Alexa or Google where they'll speak rather than type in a complex search strategy, it takes that step out for them. So very useful perhaps for students where English isn't a first language as well. So just speaking their question, getting that search refined query, and then maybe using that as their starting point for more advanced research. Okay, next step. So next question we're going to use Business Source to address is, what is the construction industry like in New Zealand? And what strategic analysis tools can we access to review industry? So this is where we're going to be using those browsable options, those featured topics, and we're going to browse industry reports by industry and then reports by country, and we're going to select New Zealand. So let's have a look at this. So I'm going to come into company industry reports. We're going to do industry reports by country. You could also do this by provider sector or regional industry. And we're then going to be looking for New Zealand. So here's our New Zealand industry profiles. Now, what it's doing is running this search, the publication type for industry profile and the keyword of New Zealand. So if I wanted to look for construction, of course, I could put a keyword in, or I could simply browse the list. And I can see down here, I've got an industry profile report for construction in New Zealand, and it's very recent, May 2025. Great, exactly what I'm looking for. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. So this is coming from MarketLine. They provide these industry profiles in PDF or online full text. I prefer the PDF. I just think they display a bit nicer, it's easier to navigate, and it's a bit more visual. And I've got my page numbers too if I need to cite anything. They can be quite comprehensive. It's 42 pages, so it is fairly large. It gives you a nice executive summary for this topic, so we can see market value, the forecast, the category segmentation, geography segmentation, and we can see market rivalry and the competitive landscape. So, on this note, what we want to find out is what strategic analysis tools can we access to review the industry? These reports are excellent for providing strategic analysis tools and giving you that really good understanding of the operation of that particular industry in a particular country. So in this case, we're going to be using the industry profile report to review the five forces analysis. So these reports include the five force analysis, which was developed by Harvard professor Michael Porter. And these analyses are aimed at the industry level rather than at a specific company. So we're going to get a holistic view. So the five force analysis looks at the following things: our buyer power, how influential are customers, our supplier power, how influential is the supply chain, entrance, how easy is it for new players to enter that industry or market, the threat of substitute, how strong is the threat of alternative products or services, the degree of rivalry, so who are the major players or companies that dominate that industry. So let's have a look at this. Now, this is taken from this industry profile report. But what you'll notice in our table of contents, we get that executive summary information, market overview, segmentation, and down here we'll get into our five forces analysis. So now we're going to find out little bit more about the construction market in New Zealand, and we can see here it tells us that it'll be analysed taking construction companies, including developers and contractors as players. The key buyers will be real estate developers, businesses, governments, and individuals. And the key suppliers will include suppliers of building materials, equipment, labour, technology, and subcontractors. So we get an idea of what we're looking at here in regards to those five forces. So just going through, here's our summary of those five forces. We can see at a glance, degree of rivalry is quite high. Supplier power's up there. Entrance is kind of up there as well, but definitely degree of rivalry is quite high here. It will also tell us a description of this overview as well. So Jim's getting a lot of information now about that construction industry in New Zealand here. So let's scroll down a little bit further. Then we get to our buyer power. And again, we can see at a glance, price sensitivity is important. Buyer independence is important. Tendency to switch is average. So we can kind of get an idea again here. So buyer power is shaped by property developers, businesses, government agencies, individuals, and each have a different level of influence. So again, we start to see that construction industry in New Zealand here. And we can see that overall the buyer power is moderate. Coming down, we've got supplier power. We can see who it's shaped by. So again, we're getting lots of information here in that how that construction is being, how it is operating, I guess, in New Zealand. So here is our new entrant. You see this is not overly high. We've got little regulation, supplier accessible, market growth is quite high. And again, it gives us a nice description here as well. So it's interesting, it's saying new companies here face considerable financial and operational hurdles, making it difficult for them to compete with established players. So we can see here, so little IP involved, little regulation, market growth is high. Yeah, get an idea there of how that will be operating. Scrolling down, we've got threat of substitutes. This is very low, and it tells us here that it is low due to the essential and highly specialized nature of construction services and material. And there's no direct substitute, so it's very specific. The threat of substitutes is low for New Zealand. Then we've got our degree of rivalry here as well. So it talks now a little bit about some of those players, so some of those companies that operate across the different sectors. So we've got major companies listed here, and it tells us the intensity of competition has increased in recent years. So Jim's got a lot of information now that he can work with for understanding the environment of the construction industry in New Zealand. That's Porter's five forces. It's a great strategic analysis tool, and you'll find those in those market line industry profile reports. Okay, so the third question we're going to answer for Jim is what construction companies are currently operating in New Zealand? So we've just seen that there is a section in the industry profile that talks about the competitive landscape and it tells us who the leading players are. So we have Fletcher Building Limited. They are in the business of construction and material manufacturing, and they carry out infrastructure projects. So residential and commercial properties, as well as road maintenance. So they cover quite a few things in terms of infrastructure. We've got Fulton Hogan, we've got Downer, and we've got HEB. And then if we scroll a little bit further down, it talks about their strategies, what are the strengths, and we also get into their company profiles here as well. So we find information about the companies, their key facts, their revenue information, that type of thing. If we're wanting to go a little bit further outside of the industry profiles, we can absolutely go into those company profile reports as well. So I'm going to show you another little feature of the business searching interface too. We're going to pick on that company, which is Fletcher Building Limited. So a couple of ways we can do this. We can navigate into New Zealand, we can browse company profiles, and we can find their company profile reports or their SWOT analyses. We can also just simply search for them. I'm going to come back to the main page. And if I was Jim, what I would also be doing is maybe bookmarking that profile report into my save section of my dashboard. So I can go back later and review that. But what we want to do now is go into our EBSCO host, just to go back into the main page. And I'm just going to search for Fletcher Building. I'm going to do LTD. We know that that's the company name. Let's have a look at our results. It's just a standard search. So now we've got our company profile reports, we've got our SWOT analyses and so on. So this is great. I can jump into those. I could also use the browsing option. So I could come into the company profiles by country, click N for New Zealand, click New Zealand, and then I have a nice browsable list of the companies in New Zealand. And here is the Fletcher Building. You'll notice that I put LTD, but they spell that out here. Now, what I like about this is that I will also get some company information. At a glance, I can find their ticker symbols, I can find their headquarters, their website, their number of employees, and their industry or line of business. I can also view any top competitors. I can view industry reports around materials relating to that company. I can view the SWOT for that company, and I also then get my search results. Now, depending on what I'm looking for, I've got a lot of information in front of me. What I'm going to do though is go into view all results. So I just want to see all the company information relating to Fletcher. And again, you'll see very similar results to what we had before. Again, if you go into your drop down and go sort by date newest, you can have a look at the most recent company information here. So here is my most recent company profile. These are quite comprehensive. They will be anywhere between 30 to 60 pages in length. So again, I prefer the PDF if it's available. This one's 37 pages. And here is our SWOT. So now we can view their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, and their threats. And these are great documents as well because they will flesh out each of those SWOT segments. We can see how are they operating? Are there any issues? What are their weaknesses? What are their threats? Who are their top competitors? So if we wanted to look up other competitors as well, we can certainly enter those names into Business Source. Okay, so that was just a way of utilizing Business Source and the business searching interface to locate information on a particular scenario or topic. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. Almost at the end of the session. So last little thing I wanted to cover here, and what we search for now, what we're finding in business searching interface, you're also going to find in the EBSCO host version as well. It's just that this interface is more designed for that visual search and to locate content quickly and easily. However, As we saw earlier, if we click on New Search, it will look a bit more like a standard database. You've got your natural language search here. I'm landing on basic search. We have the option to navigate to the publications authority to look for certain. We've also got the business here if we wanted to do more of an advanced search. So if I wanted to look up strategic management, see if that is a controlled term, and I can see it is, but I must use strategic planning. We could run that controlled search here on that topic. So all of these features and functionality is the same in both the EBSCOhost version or this business searching interface. It's just the EBSCOhost version doesn't have that topic overview page. So now I'm just looking at here at those strategic planning records. Okay, so new search just takes you back to sort of like a database search. In advanced search as well, you also have your filters. So you can use advanced filters for only ahead of print articles on a topic, articles on industries or companies, custom date ranges pre-search, publication types like case studies, company profiles, government documents, grey literature, law-related topics, trade publications, reports, SWOTs, and so on. So those items are there as well. If you're wanting to use any of these, you could, I'm looking for case studies on the topic of onboarding. So let's see if there's any case studies on this topic. I just need to get rid of that limiter. Okay, so now I've got case studies on onboarding here. Again, just really quick ways of finding information. So back into advanced search, in your filters, you've also got document type. You might find some of these are the same as publication type. Publication type tends to be a bit more specific. Document type is a little broader. But again, you've got case studies, clinical trials, company reports, and so on. You've got language filters, and you've also got some fields that you can search within as a pre-search. And because I am also searching Business Source Ultimate, you're seeing that there as well. The next tab over is your search options. This is where I went to find that natural language search. And there's also a link into the help guide for these search modes as well. And if you're wanting to apply any expanders, you'll find those options here. And again, publications, same as going to the Publications Authority or the Business Thesaurus here. And that is the business searching interface and business source. We'll also note on my business searching interface, I have a link into my EBSCOhost platform, and I've also created a little link into HBR digital articles. So this option here is a customization feature. You can add up to 4 links in here. And sometimes I get questions about adding these items in to take users into specific content. That takes me to the end of the session. If there's any questions, please let me know in the chat or put your hand up. I can unmute your microphone. Okay, I don't think there's any questions, but if you're thinking of them and you're typing them in, please do. I also wanted to just touch on the new UI URL Builder tool. If you have access to EBSCO Experience Manager, we now have the URL Builder for the business searching interface. And just some general queries that I get about business searching interface I wanted to recap on. So I have been asked, are there any customizable sections of the new BSI interface? And the answer is not at this time. However, the team, the product management team, is monitoring requests and will explore this as for enhancement depending on how many requests they get. As I mentioned, I have made a slight adjustment to mine and added those links in. That is something that can be done through Experience Manager. How do you return to the main landing page of BSI? Hopefully I've explained this during the session, but you've got to click that top left EBSCO logo. That will take you back to your topics. And will the company information authority be available in BSI? So it's not a separate link. The company information will come up on the search results for a particular company. So that's where we saw information relating to the revenue, the number of employees, the ticker symbols and that type of thing. And can we switch from business searching interface to the regular EBSCOhost? And that is using that custom link example that I've shown you on the interface. And lastly, just three supporting resources: the new BSI FAQ guide on Connect, the new BSI Transition Centre information guide, and also EBSCO roadmap for any upcoming changes to the platform. Okay, if there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for your time, and I will go ahead and stop recording.